I'll be the first to admit to you guys, I talk to myself. It's kind of weird. If any of you guys have seen the movie What About Bob? Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm a schizophrenic and so am I. I'm going to go with that far. I'm not quite as schizophrenic, but if I keep it up, I'm edging towards it. It's been mostly just second guessing myself. Being like, yeah, I can do this. No, you can't, Tyler. No, you can't. It's pretty irritating. And I do that same thing with the way God talks to me in my life. Where he says, Tyler, I believe in you, you can do this, I'm by your side. And they're like, okay, sure. And then I second guess him at the same time. So throughout my life, at the beginning of my Christian walk, I kind of had a Job-like moment. So Job 1, verses 1 to 5. There lived a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. He had several sons and 3 daughters, and he owned several thousand sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 donkeys, and had a large number of servants. He was the greatest man among all people of the East. His sons used to take turns holding feasts in their homes, and they would drink and invite the 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. And throughout this, I don't quite parallel everything in Job's life, obviously, because I don't own 3,000 sheep. Kind of weird. But how I tried to be as perfect as I could and still came up short. With the way things kind of started, I believed in God, but I didn't really live it out. And so I had a lot of situations come up in my junior year of high school that really kind of threw me for a loop. I got into a really great relationship, but it fell apart. Big surprise, high school relationships don't work. And I took that as a real severe blow. A lot of other stuff in my life was kind of crumbling at that point too. Having a lot of issues with my family, a lot of issues with my friends, and just with school in general. So one night I'm like, all right, this is it. I'm done. That night I tried to commit suicide. I had the knife to my wrist. I'm like, this is it. I'm going to go through with this. I don't care what happens. But the minute I tried to push the blade down to my wrist, it felt like there was something blocking it. Like I had an actual hand against my wrist blocking the knife. And from all I can assume at this point is that was the Holy Spirit interacting with my life saying, knock it off. This is not what you need to do. For me, I was thinking that was the only option, that I had no other way of getting through my problems than killing myself. I had kind of turned away from God, saying that, you know, God, you weren't in my life. You didn't interact with me when I needed you. Where were you? And I kind of asked the same thing to you guys. What's your story? Where are you coming from in your life? And where do you find God in your life? Hebrews 10:35 through 39 says, so do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. To persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what he has promised. For in just a very little while, he who is coming will come and will not delay. But my righteous one will live by faith. And if he shrinks back, I will not be pleased with him. But we are not of those who sink back and are destroyed, but of those who believe and are saved. There's a song by this really amazing band called Where Have You Been? The name of the band is the Manchester Orchestra. And throughout the entire song, the singer is trying to rationalize in his life, well, I don't know where God is in this. I've had a bunch of situations come up and I don't know where he was. But towards the end of the song, he kind of changes it around sometimes. So he'll go from singing, God, my God, where have you been? the same thing that God would be saying back to us, child, my child, where have you been? It seems like a lot of times, at least from some of the situations I've seen growing up in a pretty conservative church, that we live our faith out in a kind of a fair weather mentality. Fair weather, as Webster states, is you're loyal only during a time of success. So things are great, everything's awesome, but that's the only time that you're really showing loyalty. The minute a snag comes up in your life, then game over. Then there's no more loyalty. You're just running it on your own accord. Sometimes we put ourselves in situations that, we think we can do it on our own just fine, that with no matter what, we can get through it without any help. Then we hit a snag. That snag could be a failure at something, a breakup, a death, a denial, not getting accepted into your major. This guy, sometimes. And it kind of feels like that point when we hit the snag, it's like all the lights completely shut off and we're just kind of bumbling around in the dark trying to find a light switch because we don't know what's going on. We can't see where God is in this. But we're not even sure where we are in that room, so how can we attempt to find the light switch? And we believe that, God, we believe in God and that He provides for us and He assists us in all that we go through. But once we hit that snag, it's like there's no sign of God in our life at all, or that we completely deny the fact that there was that moment where He stepped into our life and said, all right, this is it. I'm going to be here for you. But instead of being like, okay, God, I need your help, we're on our knees screaming, where are you, God? Where you've completely left me. And then we act all indignant because we can't understand why God would leave our side when we needed Him the most. I'm going to play a clip for you from the live version of this Manchester song, and hopefully kind of speaks into your guys' lives.